Recording this video after close trade Wednesday 8th of May 2013. In fact, it's a long time after the close of trade. It's 3 p.m. here Sydney time. It's gone midnight Chicago time. But I did want to put this video out, and I just want to talk to two charts essentially. So let me just get to those quickly. Just where did we end up today? Well, we ended up 28.75, 1.4 million contracts. Looks like another perfect day in paradise. But one of the nice things when I finish my trading, so I finish about 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning here Sydney time, get up in the morning, come down, open all my charts. Got this or this today, which is very unusual, extremely unusual. So let me just talk you through this. So first of all, this is my average trade size indicator, and I put this on a bunch of different charts, ranging, so going from a 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 5, 9, 15 minute, 27, 45, 81, 135, and then 2 daily charts. One with the at es.d, which is only the day's data, and then the at es, which is day and night data. The reason I use those time frames is there's an equal number of those a day. So for example, there are 3 135 minute bars during the trading day for the E-mini. So there are 5 81 minute bars, for example. So that's why there's whole numbers. If you divide up your trading day into whole numbers, this is kind of a way of going down in time frames using time based charts rather than tip based charts. Well, okay, so there we go. That's, and it looks really bunched up and pretty lousy on a little recording of this size, but on a full screen it looks fine. It's perfectly legible. The point is, today blue everywhere. I don't think I've ever seen this. So blue is professional bars. The average trade size is a little algorithm I use. It's quite simple, but what it's doing, it's comparing each particular bar with that same time during the day over back history and seeing, was the average trade size unusually hard, so high or low. So blue professional bars, same as Pro-Am coloring, but this is not better Pro-Am, this is another algorithm. Amateur bars would be yellow bars. The point is, if you look at during the day, look at this 9-minute chart. Blow this one up with today's activity. Almost every single bar today was above average trade size. Unbelievable. Okay, now I always say, high average trade size, professional activity. The professionals are smart as guys. They're kind of selling at the top and buying at the bottom. We're at the top of a pretty strong uptrend that kind of finished with, this kind of gap up sequence that we've had. I know everybody's talking about, you got to go with the Fed. The central banks are buying equities, like the equity market will keep on going. I think I've read a headline saying for the next couple of years or something. So all I'm saying is just be very, very, very careful. I'm not suggesting there's a crash happening in the market, nothing like that. But at these elevated levels, when I see a day like this, you got to think, well, the professionals were active the whole day. I'd say taking profits. So anyway, there we go. And again, just backing this out on those different time frames, you can see kind of zeroing. The entire day was just one of those days where we had professional activity, high average trade size during the entire day. It's actually a nice day's trading. So chart number 2, just going to talk through this setup on today's trade, and I'll tag it on. It's nice, one shot, one kill first thing in the morning. So yesterday we kind of rose up, into the 22s, 3s, I think we finished at. This is yesterday's activity on the 4,000 tip bar chart. Okay, we ended up with exhaustion patterns, bearish divergence at the end of the day. It was an up day after we had that sell-off. On the 1,500 tip bar chart, we had Rambo patterns at each of these little dips down, showing that the amateurs were trying to get short. Let me just show you the 1,500 tip bar chart there for yesterday. So these were the Rambo patterns we bounced from there. So yesterday, we finished with a nice trend up. We had exhaustion buying on the left hand shoulder, pull back to end of trend, Rambo pattern up here, professionals taking profits at the end of the trend of this move here. So that was a nice little sequence that ended up with the trend kind of ending here. But what I find is, if we've had a nice strong day during that day, the professionals the next day usually, unless there's some kind of unusual data release or something happens overseas, unless there's something like that, the market will have some follow through the next day. The follow through comes because basically the amateurs, people who have regular jobs, looking at their equity portfolios and kind of following stocks on a day-to-day basis, see a nice kind of strong day, and their mindset is, they look at their charts kind of in the evenings and say, oh, I got to buy something, or I've been, I should have bought so and so back when it was, I must get in now, and then they read all kinds of positive news stories saying, you know, the market's going to continue in an uptrend for another 1 to 2 years. Okay, so then the professionals always know there's going to be a little bit of pop, a nice kind of little flurry of activity in the beginning of the day, with those kind of you know, more casual traders kind of taking positions first thing in the morning, kind of got their orders into their brokers and so on. So there's always going to be a little bit of carry on. So I always talk about waiting for the full liquidity of the day to see an exhaustion pattern on the 1500 tip bar chart after that. So we had a strong day yesterday, Tuesday. Wednesday the market opens and we get that flurry of activity here, kind of first thing in the morning, kind of just buying you know, new money kind of coming in a little bit and so on. And that's when the exhaustion pattern happens. Now, the market's so strong, we've got all this professional activity where they kind of want to move the market up and so on, and you can see again, just like yesterday, same type of pattern, exhaustion pattern on the left hand shoulder, bearish divergence, we go pull back to end of trend, bang, more Rambo patterns right here at the highs, you can see there a flush pattern, and then we finally sell off into those lows. It's exhaustion selling, we bounce off from there. You know, we had professional activity throughout the entire day. They're just kind of goosing it up so it kind of looks nice for the end of the day. It wasn't a reversal day. We'd gone past the window. 10 a.m. is the window for a change of trend and reversal. You know, it was a little bit of sell-off, some profit taking and so on, but we made highs after that. The point is waiting for, we know the next day, 3 times out of 4, I'm not saying it's 100%. Most of the time we get some nice follow through the next morning, and so it's worth kind of waiting for the exhaustion patterns to work themselves through the market before considering a reversal trade. So I'm always looking for a follow through trade after a strong day like yesterday. So back it down to the 500 tip bar chart, and we had a beautiful little setup. So pre the open, a little bit of weakness, bit of exhaustion buying, a little bit of exhaustion selling. Tops and bottoms of here we have blue professional bars at the lows down here, exhaustion selling. So temporarily we kind of run out of steam a little bit. Market opens and we don't know where we're going. We have, you know, a little bit of strength from the get-go, but some Rambo patterns kind of come in with amateur up bars. The amateurs are kind of jumping in too early. The market sells off a fraction, you know, 1.5 or something. It was hardly anything. No blue professional bars, nothing at the open, nothing until this one on the 500 tip bar chart. It was even later on the 1500 tip bar chart. So I'm waiting and waiting. What are the professionals doing? I'm expecting a little bit of, you know, flurry of activity, a little bit of pop to the upside, and the blue professional bar kind of comes in. Let me just zero in on that. Blue professional bar kind of comes in on the 500, the first sign that there's some professional activity. They've kind of bought this little dip. They can see it's going nowhere. We've got bullish divergence patterns kind of coming in. It's settling. We break the high of that. It settles for a second, and then bang, we start to break. Then we have a nice little gathering pattern underneath a previous resistance. You know, we have previous resistance here, previous resistance. Gathering of the professionals. The professionals are just waiting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All of a sudden, bang, that little sequence there. Pop right through the resistance, jumping the creek into an uptrend here, which keeps going nicely until we get pulled back to end of trend. And that little sequence, you know, to start with, is the beginning of that uptrend move. Now this is 500 tip bar charts. This is kind of, you know, right down at the refined kind of level. We can see, you know, it starts into an uptrend and keep going into a whole series of uptrends on the 500 tip bar chart. But that's what we're kind of looking for. A little bit of follow through after a strong day the day before. Wait for the professionals to signal what are they doing. We get a nice little congestion activity here with a gathering of blue professional bars right underneath resistance. Bang, we get the pop, and then we go into a nice uptrend sequence, pull back to end of trend. So 1500 tip bar chart, similar type thing. You can see that kind of pattern where we were holding was cyclical support on the 1500 tip bar chart. I think it was on 45, yeah. On the 4500 tip bar chart, it's also cyclical support that's holding there. So let's go back to the 1500 tip bar chart. It's holding there. The 500 tip bar chart gave us the professional bar that we can use as an entry point, and then you can see the gathering. Even on the 1500 tip bar chart, we got all these blue professional bars just gathering under previous resistance here. We break the highs of that, bang, into an uptrend, and then we get the exhaustion pattern here, which is showing kind of the strength of this move. It happened to be an extremely strong move. We kept on going till we finally got our pullback to end of trend, and then at the highs you can see the Rambo patterns, a little bit of a Rambo to Rambo channel here. So the amateurs getting wrong-footed right at the highs, they're like, oh, I've missed this thing, I better get on board. Finally, you know, who knows what they're doing at these highs, kind of buying these new highs, but they're buying the new highs. Then as soon as the market reverses by a couple of points here, they're forced to exit because their stops are so small. So you can see they're kind of forced to exit here. Right at that point, the market bounces right back up. They're kind of feeling, you know, really sorry for themselves. But a Rambo to Rambo channel here, pullback to end of trend with a final Rambo pattern where they think, oh my God, you know, they were going short here. Now they're kind of reversed and gone long. Sorry to, you know, call it like that for the amateurs, but you know, you have to find a way of looking at the players in a simplified way to see what they're doing. So for me, that was a one shot, one kill, entering at that blue professional bar, the 500 tip bar chart, exiting on the pro signal exit, which was almost exactly 4 points. Yes, there was a lot more in it. There was another easy 4 points kind of on the way up, but you know, that's not what I do. I'm just looking for 4 points a day. I know my day's work is done when I've made my 4 points, and when it comes in a one shot, one kill, when I'm out of the market after 20 minutes, I'm super happy because I know my job is done. But anyway, some people would have paid it differently, maybe held out to the pullback to end of trend sequence and so on, but you know, take it as you will. So there we go, two charts. One, a really nice little setup with a one shot, one kill, and then the other one is this, you know, kind of blue professional activity. Never seen this in my life. You know, it's unusual, so just watch out. Just gone long 1950. Long 1950. Just checking my stops and targets. And what is it? 8:39 a.m. First blue professional bar we've seen since the beginning of the day on the 500 or any of the time frames, just here. So pre-open, kind of had exhaustion, selling blue professional bars, kind of came in at these lows, went off on a little bit of a tear, kind of came down. These are amateur down bars, found support, kind of weak buying, and we had this blue professional bar and we broke the high of that one. I know we're kind of we're above support. It's kind of critical level. You know, we got supports in on these two time frames, kind of around here. So if we drop through it, we'll go into a downtrend below this. But you know, market's been so strong yesterday. You know, we ended up. We could easily kind of just keep going till we see a blow-off move today. So long 1950. Need this to continue up to 20 to be sure we're well above this. And if we follow it with a blue professional bar, kind of getting this thing going, that'll give me some confidence. Let's see. Right, well here we go. We just got up to almost 20 and a half. Support's coming on 1500. We've got support in here on 45, so sort of on support to resistance, hopefully with a little breakout into a trend move on 500. So we set off here, came to resistance, we got a small little dip, blue professional bar, coming breaking the highs of that. If we jump through 21, that'll be jumping the creek, and we can get this thing going. Be nice to see a blue professional bar just push us right the way through that, and then we'll go for a little bit of a run to the upside. Come on, Rambo pattern, being led by the amateurs. So we usually see a little bit of weakness after that. So let's see, we need the professionals to come in and pick it up. So here we go, a little blue professional bar coming on the 500, fairly big range, so from 20 up to 20 and 3/4, and we're just sitting at this previous high. So we push through that to 21. Come on, let's jump the creek. There we go. And I don't know, it's a little bit of a gathering, kind of underneath resistance, kind of getting going. Just come on. Not super convincing, but we got everything going for a break to a trend move here, so come on. Oh, we could not get through 21s. We just had blue professional bar coming up 4500. Is this a gathering? See this, the blue professional bars were coming on the dip down on 1500. You can see kind of coming into this dip, coming back to it. We've had quite a lot of selling in there. Average trade size is high though. Professionals. You got this. Here we go. Here we go. So that looks like jumping the creek. Excellent. Big blue professional bar. Come on, keep going. It's really on 1500. It's like kind of neutral buying, selling. But if we stick above here, we'll get into a trend move. Here we go. It'll go pull back to end of trend. So come on, get this thing going. What we're looking at previously, 175 is the highs up here pre-open. Sorry, what was I looking at? Wrong bar. I was looking at yesterday. Pre-open high was at 22. Okay, so 22 is where we'll see some fireworks. Here we go, taking it up to it. Exhaustion buying. So target's sitting at 2350. So if we hit 22, bust some stops, that'll take us to 2350. So I'm just going to leave it there. Come on, let's get this thing moving. Alright, so we're at 22. Got these blue fractional up bars, so still got to see pullback to end of trend on 500. Finding it difficult to get through just there, but just sitting above that, there'll be a bunch of stops to run. So come on, let's have another go at it. We just started to run a whole bunch of stops. So we had an amateur down bar, and we bounced off that. The amateurs were just selling that little push down. Now we're back up through 22s, blue professional bar. It's only 4,000 on better momentum. Want to see like an 8,000 reading, but we're a point away from target. So come on, just punch up through. Here we go, it's kind of Rambo pattern here. It's got to go pull back to end of trend and sync up with this resistance kind of coming in, but we haven't had that blow off kind of move yet for a left shoulder. Another exhaustion pattern, but same type reading. Come on, let this thing go. Just get let loose up through 23s. It's only half point above this high. We've got a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of coming in. The reading was 6,000. Here we go. Come on, come on. Just taking up 2350. Excellent for 4. Took a while. Got hit a couple of times, and there we go. Pro signal exit. Blue professional bars up here. Exhaustion buying. This is about 11,000 on better momentum. Excellent. So still got to go pull back to end of trend on the 500 tick bar chart. So that's fine, but good to be out. That's what's 9:03 AM. Excellent. One shot, one kill. Happy with that, but yeah, the market's still going up, so we're up in the mid-20s. Good, good, good.